Alright. Well. Hello everybody. Let's get into doing some coloring. Make sure I'm entirely covering up that with my chat window. And last I left off, I was, what was I doing? Oh, I was doing stones and stuff. I don't know if my, yep, alright. So I use my my background layer here, and just in general, I kind of, fill things in. And I'm back after that brief interruption. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. One of the things you'll notice about how I put in shadows and lights and stuff like that is I do so destructively. And I just, flop them in here and there. Just add some colors. And generally for normal debris and stuff like that, they only get one little spot of shaving, and it's not always anything that particularly fancy. I do try to bear in mind that if it is close to a wall, then I change the what is bottom and right according to perspective. I find that works a little bit. Doesn't get too visually jarring. I just shade bottom right of pretty much everything. So, there. And that's got a highlight in there, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that with my highlight color. Now what I have thought about doing, go a little smaller with that and just jump back and forth. What I have thought about doing is coming in here and using this one, this brush to do this. I'm not quite certain, but I haven't done any of the maps so far with that. Let's just go to normal, so I'm not doing that, and just kind of boom, as opposed to what I have been doing, which is a different kind of look, and I kind of like it, but I'm not ready to make that switch over yet. In general, I want something broad enough that I'm not going to have to go back and fill in little bits. It's a little too broad. Some of these smaller stones. You just do the bottom and the right. And every now and then, I have to come in here and repair things. But that's kind of normal. So, to do this, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to grab my dark color. Switch swatches. Let's find one of my highlights. Oh, all the way over here. I haven't done a lot of highlighting. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to come through here and just kind of flop my highlights in here first. And then just switch swatches and brush, and it's bottom right, so that one. And I do bottom right in general for most things. And sometimes I do it even as a result of in perspective to the wall, but not always. I did try to go around a little differently. I didn't entirely like how that turned out. Like for instance, if I did bottom right, I'd do both of those. Well, I don't want to do both of those, and so bottom right and to worry about filling all that in. There we go, and we just go whoop. That's a little further than I want to go with it. And I could add more, but you know, there's a spot in here that I need to go back here and make it floor texture. And all I'm going to do from here is just boom, grab my highlight, grab my shadow, back to my background layer. Do my, grab my highlight. Apparently I didn't. Sometimes I move a little faster than it registers, and that's okay. Brush X, and I'll do that one, and bottom right, and bottom right. A little broader with that. Sometimes some things are fairly close to the color that I'm working with. I'll go back and check. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do. That's most of what I do on this layer is I come in here and I do this. Just flopping back and forth between shadows and highlights. If you want to make it more easily manipulated, you can just do this entirely as an entirely different layer. I don't usually bother with that. The main reason is because my wonderful potato doesn't handle too many layers simultaneously very well, and it starts getting bogged down even in Krita, which is a little bit more resource friendly than Photoshop. It would get really bad in Photoshop. Not to say that Photoshop is a bad program. It's just I'm not very good at using it, and I'm not very good at making sure that it's optimized for the way that I use it. Krita is a little friendlier for me. Krita is also free, so it means that if you want to, well, it's pay what you want. I do recommend supporting amazing programs and stuff like that. Come through and grab my highlight layers. I'm just going to grab that and fill this with okay. Now remember, it's for these, because this is a pile against a wall, it's bottom right to the perspective of the wall, which changes it a little bit, and that's okay. And the best part is, if it doesn't look right, I just grab this color that is automatically the unshaded color, and I go through. And as you can see, I've covered most of this map already, just little pieces at a time. And yeah, you can think of it as being kind of tedious. I like to think of this as being like the fun part of it, bottom right. Oh, a nice pile of stuff over here. And this is kind of against the wall, but kind of not, so I'm not really going to worry about it too much. I think I'm going to add a little highlight in there, because no, I don't like that. So I'm going to kind of come in here and just kind of boop. And then just bottom right and fill some of this stuff in. And just go through and do it a little piece at a time. For these bigger ones, I'll come in and grab a little piece of it and just come back and fill it in. And you just keep going, one little piece at a time. And that's how you do a lot of things. It doesn't matter so much that you can't do it all perfectly all at once, because even if I come in and just color for like a few minutes, it's pretty good. All right. Ooh, and there's one entire one down here that I completely forgot. There's probably a bunch of stuff down here that I forgot, and I don't know why that was like that. So I'm just gonna come in here and grab that. Little things you miss. Alright, and that gives me my rubble layer. Now in this rubble layer is also, I'm going to change my opacity to 50% because there's a couple of these things in here. And you can do these all at once, and usually I do them all at once. Just come through and just grab all of them. It's okay that some of them end up darker and brighter than others. And just grab it and add some color to it. And then I'm going to come down here and let's make this one, let's do this color down here. And since, I'm doing pretty big, just boop. There we go. Whole set of flowers or, whatever's down here. Boop. Let's make, no, that's a rock. I like that being a rock. And I just, kind of look around for things that I might consider to be flowers. And sometimes even, like, out of this rubble, all this rubble that I've picked out, maybe there's some flowers in there too. Like maybe those are some flowers. Let's make these stand out just a hair. Just something. Maybe flowers, fungus, anything like that. Something to add, just a bit of color, and then you just change it periodically. And These are going to be kind of a greenish color, so let's come in here and set these up as sort of this orange. I like that. Ooh. Come out here and let's do these as like this like sky blue. Down here, let's do some deep blue. Well, let's not do that as deep blue. Let's do that as that. You know, maybe that looks a little better than it would have otherwise. And what you end up with is you end up with you know, some very colorful things. Which, you know, not everybody likes colorful maps, and that's okay. You know, there's black and white stuff that you can throw in here as well. And these are like fungusy things. Any over there. And often I will set those up as like little patches of illumination. And that's kind of that. It's kind of dark, so it's kind of, oh, that's a little too much. That's not enough. There we go. Kind of pop that out just a little bit here and there. And it's possible that I've missed some. And that's okay. Alright. Oh. One last thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to come down here. And let's do it with this one. And soft light. Say about 25%. And I want to do that. And that is kind of like some shadows and highlights. And kind of pick a big one. Why did all that brighten? You know, you can come through and you can add some, you know, textures and stuff like that to it. Go all the way back to where I changed the color of that. And just keep undoing. Alright. So we can just come down here. Let's go to textures. There's one down here that I kind of wanted to experiment with, and I think it's crackles. Okay, that could be very interesting. Let's go with soft light and say 50%. And let's go with straight white, straight black. So we're just going to go boom. That's too much. Is there something else down here? No, I don't like that. That kind of defeats it a little bit. Let's go with black and just kind of... No, I don't like that. Go back to Chris, my folder, and you know, come in here and, you know, soft light 25% and just kind of shadow it up. The alternative one is we use the rough brush, which I created. And again, soft light, let's say about 50%. And we come in, and I like to, ooh. I like that a lot better. And I don't want to do straight black. Let's do black and gray. Give some of these, you know, go out, watch the layer that's underneath it, and just add just, you know, a little bit of depth to it. You know, it doesn't have to be a lot. And I found that by by doing this, it kind of gives that a greater sense of depth, and it adds some texture to some things that didn't have it before. You know, so it's not all completely, you know, clean, and it makes this very clean-looking stone look that I do match up a little better with the dirtier look that I do. All right. Now, in here we have some books. So I'm gonna come down here, and I want to make these kind of like a. I want to make this one a couple of them kind of like a brownish color. No, that doesn't look good. That blends in too well. There we go. And this one's gonna be a bit of a red color. And come in here and make, you know, a little. And I'm gonna come in here and. Ooh. Doesn't always select the one that I'm working on, and this one's open, so I'm gonna give this a sort of a parchment look to it. All right. Nope. And I've got let's throw a green one in here. Let's. All right. And the problem is that it's very bright, so all I'm going to do is I'm gonna select my cutting tool. And I've got, these are the colors I want to use, and I come here to my adjustment layer, and you'll knock that saturation down just a little bit, and then add a bit of a green tone to it. Let's also darken it up. And you unselect it, and you kind of look out, and now it's no longer jarring. And you can do that for like entire sections of this if I want all of these to be a little bit more grayed out, which I sometimes will do, but I usually do that in one mask layer. But yeah, so you know, there's how I do some stones. Now I've got, and I always turn it off, turn it on so I can see what I'm doing. All right, come in here, and I like that dark brown and kind of that color. And I want to do shadows first. So soft light, about 50%. And we're going to look and see where I've got like all this hash mark stuff. And I like to follow walls. And that's very soft. Why is that so soft? Feels very soft to me today. That's okay. And I'm just shading along walls. Getting some, you know, places, you know, because dirt gets attracted to all kinds of things. I follow things along. I just give it a, just kind of rough it in just a little bit here and there. I'm leaving out that area because that's a ledge. I'm going to do that here in a second. Alright. Come through here. Just make sure I've gotten most of the areas that I want to get. And there we go. And all I'm going to do is switch to my highlight color. And right here in the middle, just kind of, you know, big spots. Come in here and just kind of highlight. And do all along this edge. All along the edge, all along that edge, and boom. And there's pretty much my floor. It's a little browner than I like, but you know, I'll rock with it for a little bit. You know, pop some color in here. Come in here and shade that in just a little bit, and just come through and just shade some things in. Figure out where some of these darker spaces might be. Oh, that spot's like really needs to be dark back in here. I try not to do a lot of over darkening because, you know, once I add my lighting layer, you know, it's going to get a little brighter, well, not a little brighter, a little darker. And there we go. And we come down here because I've got a couple different layers down here. One is I've got a shadow layer back here, and then a highlight layer up here. I'm gonna hit that one twice because it looks like I ran over it on accident a little bit with my lights. And that gives me, you know, here's the shadow from the cliff area. And there's the highlight that indicates that, you know, this is higher than that layer. And I'm going to do the same thing down here with the cliff. And, you know, that's how I do it. Alright. The water, or this is sort of like an icy layer here. So let's go ahead and change this up, and let's say that the ice background color for that is... No, let's do it. Let's leave it as at this purple. And I want to kind of... Let's see what happens when I do it this way. Soft light. That just makes it more purple. Maybe just normal? Or we click on normal? Alright. Soft light. And we'll come here. So I think I'm gonna have to add a bit of white to it. I haven't done a lot of snow, and let's up this because this is kind of dark. And I haven't done, like I said, I haven't done a snowy area like this before. So let's, you know, see what it does. I mean, because it's turning really dark in spots, and I'm going to bring that back out with some white, some other colors and stuff like that. You know, a little bit of shading on the edges. All right. And then we're going to come in here to like a gray tone, and then we're going to go with just a normal layer. And just say, you know, this is like 25%. And just kind of come in here. And I don't like that. Let's try it like this. Shall we? And soft light. All right, and let's try. No. All right. It's not working out the way I want it to. I'm not certain how I'm going to do this. Let's make it garish. Come here. And soft light. 100%. I think I'm just kind of. See if I can get an icy effect like down in here. No, not quite. I think some of this is going to be some color decisions to do. All right, and you. All right, X. That's better. Oh, that's coming in. Still a little brighter, more colorful than I want it to be. So we're going to come back here. Just dial the saturation down a little bit more. Now sometimes what I will do is I will set this layer, if it's like, maybe that's what I need to try. This is, have this be a lighten. I'm not mute that. Default X. Normal. Okay, so now I've gotten rid of that as an independent layer. And this hard light. Oh, that's kind of a little better. Let's try this as a soft light. Not bad. Let's go with a hard light. Let's dial this opacity down just a little bit. And I'm more thinking about here. And I use this for like waters and liquids frequently. Let's go back a couple steps. Let's come back. Let's go back to. No, let's go back. I liked all that. Find out. Okay, that's where I did that. Okay, so let's try this. Alright. And I kind of liked it. But because we don't want to entirely destructively edit, I'm going to grab one of those. And fill it in. Which makes that control. There we go. And hard light. And we're going to just dial the opacity back a little bit. Alright. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Now, just in general, I'm going to, come down here, and because alright, and a soft light, just that, and just kind of no, I don't like that at all. Alright, so we'll grab that. And remove all of that. Which it doesn't do that. Alright. Oh, that did. Alright, so we're coming here and just kind of, boom. And there we go. That's the difference right there. Kind of fades out a little dark. I might come in here and throw some more white in here. No, there's too much color in there. Especially down there. There we go. Alright. And that one's not doing anything. So we're going to come here. And this is just, a little too saturated with color. Yes. And a little too bright. But that's okay. So that's how I color maps. I go back and forth on things all the time. And you'll grab my shadow color and a highlight color. I think I want to do that. And shadow up kind of the edges of things. And that might be all that's required. I may not have to do a highlight color on these. I might just do a little bit of a highlight in there. No, I don't like that. Let's go with a... Oh, I like that. Same principles apply as before. You just come in, shadow up, shadow things up. Oh, that's why it's not, it didn't actually change. Oh, that's why it's all looking so bright. Like, it's a little better, but it's not everything that I wanted. Alright, and, oh, that's a little better. A little browner. Just up that just a little bit. Some shadow. Alright. And a thing that you can do is you can come in here and we can do all of the shadows all at once. You just add all that dark that you want. All at once. And you come through and just kind of add some bright spots. Think about where light might be hitting it, although not too much. We're going to add a lighting layer here in a little bit, which is going to bring everything all together. Alright, and then for this, I want to redden that up just a hair, drop the saturation down, and pop the lightness up. No, not the lightness. Just the saturation. There we go. All right. Oh. Wrong lever. What do we even have that lever? A little smaller, so I get a little finer texture on some things. And all I'm doing there is I'm just kind of adding some color there. Come here through here. Just kind of add. You notice I use these brown colors a lot. And I will hit some of these planks up here with some highlights, and those are going to get some highlights and shadows on them too. I want to get this like molted effect. I'm going to do that, up here a little bit, but I'm not going to add any like highlights to the planks down there, because I don't want to highlight those at all. All right, and that door's pretty much done. I mean, you can come in here and do like some fine detail on it, but I think that's pretty good. So. Just add some colors. There was a book there that I completely ignored. That's okay. And, you know, so we're just gonna come in here and just kind of shadow some things in. Do the same thing over here. I mean, these are kind of hero boards, so add some shadows and highlights to them as well. Shadow there. You know, that's really all it gets. And, you know, if that's not the color that you want it to come up with, you pull up and you kind of gray it out. I like it. I think it's going to match really well once I drop a color layer on top of it. And here's my my iron level. Now, there's not a lot going on in here, so I'm going to come through and I'm going to shadow it up and then kind of let's say 25%. And then just kind of add some just, you know, shape and color to it. Let's see what else that's affecting. There and there. Alright. Let's say 50%. And I'm just gonna boop, boop. Just gonna put a couple little highlights here and there. There we go, that blends in a little better. And yeah, I think that's my my iron layer, nice and flat, which brings us to finished, pretty much. I mean, I don't do much with light blocking layers. There's another layer in here somewhere. What's that? There we go. This is the stone layers. Completely forgetting this one. And think about where. Boom. Shadows. I'm not going to use brown for that one. I'm going to use sort of this gray color. And I just want to hit some of these areas. What? Oh, that's why it's not blending. I'm using my lighting layer. Wrong layer. Right? That's why I'm like, why is this being so faint on me at 50%? So let's come in here and think about, you know, where some shadows might be laying in here, and you can get kind of fancy with it. You know, come in there. That's a little harsh for that, so I might come down to like a 25% soft light and just kind of follow that along. And there's no wrong way of doing this. You know, you can do it however you like. That's a little bit more work than I want to do. And alright, default X, and that's gonna be here, and that's gonna be right there, and also there, and then just there, and that comes in, and I missed out on some of that, so default, and you just come in here and just kind of grab that color, and it's not the exact color anymore because, you know, I've painted textures over it, but that's okay. Just was looking a little weird. Oh, I forgot like all of those. Oh my. Alright. And I'm not liking that so much. Let's come in here. Ooh, that was the wrong layer. And I'm gonna give this that color, which I don't want to become the same color. So how am I gonna handle this one? I mean, I could just, you know, find a nice dark gray. Okay, let's try this one. And we're gonna go with yeah, we're gonna go with soft light, and I think I want to change that to multiply. Fine, let's find a shadow color for it because I want it to be slightly 20%. I like that. Let's try it at 30%. Yeah, I like that. Alright. And for this, let's come in here and let's go with soft light. Oh, I kind of like that. Alright. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and just kind of do the same thing that I did before. So that just screwed everything up. Alright, so I'm going to grab this so multiply. Do I like that better? Do I like that better? I like that better. I like this one better. Alright. So some shadows and some highlights on this. There and there. I want to do the same thing over here, and you know this is going to be a lot easier. So I'll throw a shadow on each of these on the bottom right hand side. Bottom right hand side. That's going to kind of taper out. There we go. It's going to kind of out just a little bit. Going a little smaller with that. Let this kind of filter out just a little bit. Alright, bottom right hand side right there. And not that one yet. Those are going to be a little unique. These are going to have similar shading. Though I could probably just go through and highlight them. Or just shadow them. They don't, not really big enough for a shadow and a highlight. But using these colored shadows is a wonderful way of keeping color in your map, because a lot of maps get very dark and very gray, and you know, if that's kind of your thing, if you're, you know, kind of like the aesthetic that you're going for, then you'll rock it on. But I find it a little overused. You know, super desaturated colors. And there we go. So come through. Now we gotta think about where the light's gonna be shadowed. No, this is gonna create a shadow there, and so there's gonna be a shadow there. So I'm gonna be boom, boom. It's not gonna create a shadow on that side, but this might actually have a shadow there too. So you know, we can go both, and I like both. But you might go so far as to even come down a little bit with the size, and you know, think that, you know, this creates a thicker shadow and creates a thinner shadow. All right, a little thicker shadow. Little thinner shadows. And there's really no wrong answer, you know, when it comes to this, especially not with map making. I mean, when it comes to like I guess high-end art or whatever, you know, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to where your light sources are. It adds a big sense of completion. For these, you know, I'm doing maps that are meant to be non-intrusive. I want them to look good, but I don't want people to be focused on the maps. That, and I'm not that great of an artist either, so you know, I've got that going for me, which is nice. And this is one of the reasons why I'm using 100% opacity, because otherwise I'd have you know, color overlap a lot when I come through and I do that, and it would just keep darkening it up, and it can be annoying. When I switched over to just using 100% opacity, it helped out a lot, making sure that things blend in the way that I want them to. And then, you know, there are certainly, you know, are hundreds of viable things to do with this. And just like with all these details that I include in my maps, you don't have to do any of this. None of this is necessary. I mean, this was a very usable map already. And so I'm gonna come in here and I'm just gonna. Do I want to do the edges? Then like the top. What do I want to fill in the top and just... I like that. I'm just kind of, you know, fill in a section here in the top. Just have my middle section there, and just kind of boop. That's a little too much. And just come in and just add little pieces of stuff here and there. Oh, that's a little far. Don't want it to come in and overlap that too much. And that one kind of looks like it's got that weird Charlie Brown smile. And yeah, I know I didn't completely fill that in. That's okay. You know, these things don't have to be... I'm going to texture it here in a second anyway, so... I have had people occasionally ask why I don't use like a tablet or something like that for doing this. Not very often. And the reason is because I don't have a tablet that works with it. I've used my tablet. I've got this. I don't have a drawing tablet. I have like a data tablet. Oh, that's too much. And that'd be kind of nice, you know. Get a tablet to doing all this, and you see how that highlight just kind of brings it out, makes it pop a little bit. And that's all I'm doing it for, just for a little bit of pop. Completely unnecessary. You may say, you know, well, Chris, if it's unnecessary, why are you doing it? Well, because I enjoy it. It's the whole point of everything with map making. Is you do this because you enjoy it, because it makes you feel good about you, about your day. You know, we had a couple high stress moments going on, you know, a month or so ago, with everything that happened, and I was coming up on the day that I was due to stream, and I really didn't want to stream. I didn't want to get on there and draw maps and color them up and stuff like that. And I was sitting there thinking, like, you know what, it kind of brightens my day to do so, and I've had, you know, friends and some of my followers tell me that I'm kind of soothing to listen to, and, you know, I help them relax, and then I improve their day. And I'm like, well, you know, maybe if I can make somebody else's day better, then that will make my day a little less awful. And, you know, so, you know, it sounds like altruistic. It really wasn't. It's me trying to make sure that my day was better. So, you know, I have no problem with, you know, using y'all in the stream to improve my day. Right now my wife is exercising, so I'm out of the room. And the cat, Spooky, is not going nuts on me. Alright, and we're going to come here, and we're going to grab the rough pen. I'm going to grab this, and I want to do, like, let's say 30%. And I just kind of want to come over here and just kind of give a just general kind of brush over all of it. And then I'm going to highlight it with, I think, some brown here and there. Let's do a smaller so I get more texture detail out of it. I'm just coming here and just tapping. I mean, you can come in and drag, but it's a little thicker that way. I just kind of want to, you know, give it some texture. Some things that aren't that very cartoonish style. All right. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come through, and because these are a little lower, I want to darken them just a hair. Let's say 50%. Alright, now you can do it that way. Another way of doing it is you just like that, but that's set to normal. So we're going to go soft light and just go boop, boop, boop. That's 100% way too much. Let's say 50%. Oh, I kind of like that. Let's see how that looks together. Oh, I like that. And it just kind of gives that kind of illusion of it being recessed. And this is, you know, kind of the process that I use for my maps. You know, I give kind of a base layer shading, and then I add some texture on it, and then I use some dark colors to push it into the background. I like that. Right, and because this one's a little higher up, let's go with 25%. Just give that a little boop, pop up. All right. So it looking like everything's pretty good. Now I've got, here's my my cliffs down here. That was not my cliffs. This is my cliffs. Make sure I've got the right layer selected. And I'm going to do, and for this I'm going to need to move my chat just a little bit, resize it. Nobody's in there. If you have something that you would like me to address, feel free to pop in. Now I've got this, all right. And for this, I'm going to hit this with probably that color, soft light, 50%, and just kind of boom. I like that. And then normal. And we find our shadows, just the same process that we did before. And I'm just going to find these little like triple lines over here. I'm going to shadow them up, and I'm going to grab anything else that I think might be darker. And I'm not going to worry about where everything sits and make sure everything's properly aligned and stuff. I'm just going to grab it, get a little smaller with it, close it in. Yeah, come back in here and just kind of boop, 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 boop. You can add some, wonderful shadows in here, and just come down here and line, some of these down. Fill that whole section with shadow back in there. And you just kind of look at it, and look at where some other things that might be darker than others. And it's okay if you don't get them all. That's fine. And for the most part, I really like sticking with doing the pen for this. If you do things like that, just boop, boop. And the reason I like to try to keep it rotated like this is I try to shade bottom right of it. And this helps me keep that in mind. How's it going, Patrick? How are you doing this wonderful Sunday? Excellent, excellent. How's the animation going? Some angles to that. Oh, nice. How many frames are you going for? If you don't mind my asking. Well, hopefully you don't mind my asking. I mean... There we go. Got some wonderful cliffs going on. All right. Now, because it's stone, I like to hit it with a gray color as opposed to a white color. And say 50% opacity, and I hit this with a soft light, and then just kind of there. And we change it all the way back because all I'm doing is using this blending mode. To bring things out. Ah, it's one of those, it'll be ready when it's ready. Why does this look like there's something there that's not? Oh, it's just my eyes. And there we go. Very cartoonish looking hills, cliffs. So what I do is come through here again, just like before, and I like to do like just a couple layers of it, and then we'll come over here and just with like just a pure white. How about we actually select the color? Just kind of boom. And I like to, just shade it in just a little bit along the edges. so that enough that it looks like cliffs. And here we go. Next thing we gotta do is gotta add light, and I like to stick with kind of like a night light look. You come in here and we grab my I like to think of this as my lighting pin, and the first thing I'm going to do is change this opacity to about 50%. And then, you know, if these are glowing, you know, just add some light, just some straight white light, nothing, you know, fancy or complicated about it. Add color a little later. All right. Come in here, and you know, if you want to add, let's say it's like holes in the roof, just kind of add holes in the roof. Just adding some color and some light. And just come in here and we grab some colors. Just kind of add it in here with my my little rough brush. And there's some red down in here, so maybe these are a little luminescent down here. This is a little blue, and this is a little purple. Also a little orange, so add some little orange highlights in here, and it's kind of like a pinkish color. All right, and then I want to just come through and add just some color temperature orange stuff. Not a lot, you know, just come in here and just bring it out just a hair, and you can do it like that. Although if you know, we want to do like moonlight, and just come in here and like really do a nightscape. Although for that, I generally prefer to do like just this kind of like color wash. So there's a lot of different things you can do with lighting and color and stuff like that. And I want to just kind of brighten this up just a little bit here and there. Down here and add you know, just some darker shadows, especially around the edges. Get down here into that cliffy area. Just kind of brighten that up just a hair. I'm just going to play with some light and stuff like that. Alright. And yeah, there's kind of the finished first map. Yeah, I started it a while ago. How long have I been coloring? Yeah, about an hour and 20 minutes, yeah. And so let's kind of save that. And yeah. Now let's say I want to add there's lights. So let's go here and kind of go insert a new layer, new paint layer. And let's say that I just want to come in here and I just want to do like snow. Like I want to do like a snow layer. Well, that's kind of simple. You just kind of come in here and add like a paint layer on top of things. And darken it up in places, and you can have a lot of fun with it. I don't usually do that brush a lot. I'll just come in here and, you know, with this, start playing around with, you know, where I want the snow to have fallen. And it's kind of, you know, some highlights, you know, figure out where the cracks in the roof are. Just gonna add this on top. And then all I do is just come in here and start, so let's add a transparency mask. How do I do that here? Add a transparency mask, alright. And then, you know, we find our floor, which is that. We want, you know, definitely want to cover the floor. So I'm gonna grab that. And go eye. Oh. And you see how it starts coming in, and we grab a, you know, that layer. Just grab that. Invert that. Oop, that's the wrong layer. Where's my snow layer? There's my snow layer. You can even name it snow. Alright. And you know, there you have it. You just kind of play around with things. You just come in here and just do default X and normal. Like, you just play around with things. I'm not going to do a snowy layer on that. I'm just going to kind of leave it like this. My floor does look a little plain, so I'm going to come back in here, just grab some white. I'll hit this with a soft light and say about 50%. And I just want to hit some of these highlights again. Just, you know, some more highlights. I might even hit some colors in here. It's kind of a little bland. And let's come in here and let's get bold with it. Let's get bold with this floor. Let's add some, just some color back, just a little bit, here and there, and just add some. Oh. No, I don't like that as much. Go back and just kind of normal, just kind of let's say 50%. 5% because that's kind of blending normal colors and just kind of. That's a little better than it was before. Oh. Yeah, no, I've been coloring for a while now. Yep. Now, normally when I do all of this, I take it a little too far with making things light and dark. So we'll bring it back over to Photoshop because Krita doesn't have a mass adjustment layer. Like I can't just say, oh, let's just auto brightness this whole thing. Just because Photoshop's eye for color and things like that is better than mine. So I slap it in there and adjust contrast and stuff like that to make it easier to see. And all right. That's a little better. But once I throw it in Photoshop, it'll be a little brighter. If there's a way of doing it in Krita, I don't know it. If there's a way of doing it in Krita, I would love to learn how to do it in Krita so I don't have to swap back and forth between programs. But yeah, so we just you can't see any of this, I don't think. I wonder. All right. All right. And yeah, that should actually have just brought it up in Photoshop. So I'll go and remove all this so you can see what I actually do. No. And come in here and just kind of, there we go. And all I do is I come in here and I select below my lighting layer and lighting and contrast and auto. And because I don't want it jumping up the contrast, I kind of like the contrast the way it sits. And I just, come here and just, maybe I'll dial it up just a little bit. But I always take this contrast, back to 0 because I don't want to increase the contrast on it. I'm speaking fast. Okay, I will try to slow down a little bit. Thank you for that. Yep. So, there's I don't know if it's actually swapping back and forth between the scenes. Is it? We'll have to see. All right. Should see credit now, but do you see Photoshop now? No, if you saw Photoshop, you'd be looking at something entirely different, I think. Well, okay then. Well, it's not that big of a deal. Close it, finish this up, close it out. Because it's starting to chug-a-lug my computer. Black screen. Alright. Well, there's the whole process of coloring a map took me a little over an hour because I did it in a couple of stages. I did a bunch of coloring yesterday. I'm gonna go, light it up, make sure everything is matched up and doing the things that I want it to do. Put a grid on it, and yeah, I'll call this one is done and start moving on. I got 4 more of these to do. And I'll probably go back and do like a snowy version of this because that's kind of like the whole idea I had for it. Although this would be the only map that needs to be snowy. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the stream and finish up here. And get back in with my Sunday. I'll be back on Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern time for my normally scheduled stream. And then I pop in every now and then when I'm doing coloring and stuff like that. So thank you, Patrick, for joining me. For those of you who are watching the VOD, thank you so much. Come in and say hi sometime if you'd like, or just enjoy. Yeah, I think I probably should. I gotta go spend some of my Sunday with my wife. She's gonna be done exercising in a little bit. Hmm. I will definitely see you on Wednesday. Um, in the meantime, have fun, be safe, happy gaming. If you like what you see watching my VODs, swing by sometime, uh, watch me live. Check me out on Instagram at carty_Chris or Twitter at carty_Chris. I'm also on Patreon as Lunatic Design, and I have a drive-through RPG store where I sell all of these maps that I'm doing. And since it's loaded up, I'll go ahead and pull up the one that I'm about to do here in a little bit. Oh, and that was not supposed to pull in there. But this is the next map that I'm going to do. Yes, Rubble 4 Days. This is the next sort of encounter area of the dungeon that I'm going to be going through. And you can see all the layers that I like to mess around with and stuff like that. But yeah, so a bit of a preview for what's coming up next. Once I finish coloring all these maps, I'm going to start working on the next series, which I don't do a lot of environmental maps like kingdoms and stuff like that. And I'm really curious if I can bring like this style of map making into that realm, because I like this style. The very bold lines, the very scratchy hand-drawn style that I use. I like it a lot. I just have never been able to get it to work on a like a kingdom map. So I don't draw a whole lot of those, but I'm going to attempt to start working on that. And we'll see. I'll work on different terrain types, and maybe even try a couple preliminary sketches. But that's going to be once this is done, which will hopefully be done here in the next couple weeks. But in the meantime, it's great to see you all. And Patrick, thank you so much. I can't wait to see that animation that you're working on. Just send me a link whenever you're finished with it, man. I don't know if you're on Twitter or Instagram, but you can get all of these maps, pretty much all of these maps, on Twitter and Instagram. I usually post them when I'm finished. I'm gonna put this one up here in just a few minutes. But thank you so much for watching. Have fun, be safe, and happy gaming.